over the last couple of years to build this together, to build this platform together. And today we have Dr. NP Singh, who is our keynote speaker, and some very nice speakers as well, who are going to share their technologies and the solutions in the agri space that they have. But because it is Kisan Mitra, we will first start with Lokesh. Lokesh is our farmer, अपना किसान है, जो आपको बताएगा कि उन्होंने कौन सा नया तरीका अप्लाई किया और कैसे उनके यील्ड में और प्रॉफिट में तब्दीली आई है. लोकेश, మీరు ప్లీజ్ ఆన్ చేసుకుంటారా వీడియోని?
ఓకే మేడం.
In Telugu, but Shishir will sum up what he's speaking and then we'll take it forward from there. So I'll just ask a few questions to Lokesh. Lokesh garu, మీరు ఎన్నాళ్ళ నుంచి ఈ ఫార్మింగ్ మెథడ్స్ ఇవన్నీ ట్రై చేస్తున్నారు కొత్తగా?
1 year మేడం.
అచ్చా, ఎప్పటి నుంచి ఈ ఏరియాలో ఉన్నారు, పొలాలు పంతాలు ఇవన్నీ చేస్తున్నది?
ఓకే మేడం, చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఉన్నా మేడం.
చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఉన్నాను. మీ నాన్న కూడా చేశారా?
అవును మేడం, మా నాన్నగారు మా తాతగారు. అదే మేడం.
ఓకే, మీరు క్రాప్స్ పెంచుతున్నది ఏది, ఏం పెంచుతారు మీరు?
వరి పెంచుతాం మేడం.
ఏంటండి?
వరి వరి
వరి. ఓకే, ఇంకా
మొక్కజొన్న, చెరుకు.
ఓకే, షుగర్ కేన్.
నువ్వులు,
తిల్. ఓకే,
పసుపు పంట వేస్తారు, పసుపు.
టర్మరిక్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే
ఓకే మేడం, నువ్వులు, పసుపు, ఇంకా పిల్లి మిసరు, మినుములు.
ఓకే,
అన్ని ఎక్కువగా మా సైడ్ బోర్ వేస్తేనే వాటర్ వస్తాయి, అన్ని పంటలు పండుతాయి మేడం మా భూమిలో.
ఓకే, ఆల్ క్రాప్స్ గ్రో ఇన్ హిస్ ల్యాండ్. మీకు ఎంత స్పేస్ ఉందండి?
2 acres మేడం.
2 ఎకరాలా?
2 acres మేడం.
2 acres of land. ఓకే, ఆల్ రైట్. సో మీరు ఇది ఎప్పటి నుంచి ఆయన శిషిర్ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళది ఎప్పటి నుంచి ఈ సొల్యూషన్ తీసుకున్నారు? మార్పులు ఏమున్నాయి కొంచెం చెప్తారా లోకేష్ గారు?
1 year అవుతుంది మేడం తీసుకొని.
సో ఎలా మార్పులు ఉన్నాయి కొంచెం చెప్పండి, వివరంగా చెప్పండి మాకు.
మార్పులు అంటే మేడం ఆ మిషన్ వాడడం వల్ల ఏమన్నా దాని గురించి మేడం?
అవునండి, అవును
మేడం. అది
వాడుతున్నారు, ఎలా మార్పులు ఉన్నాయి, దాని వల్ల మీకు లాభం ఏమైంది అన్ని చెప్పండి.
ఓకే మేడం, అది 1 year క్రితం తీసుకున్నాం మేడం. మా చేను ఊరికి చాలా దూరంగా ఉంటది, ఒక 1 hour జర్నీ ఉంటది మేడం చేలోకి వెళ్ళాలంటే. అది పవర్ అనేది ఒక 1 week వచ్చి నైట్ వస్తుంది మేడం, 1 week వచ్చి మార్నింగ్ వస్తుంది. అది మోటార్ ఆన్ చేసుకోవడానికి వెళ్ళడానికి బాగా ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది. ఈ మిషన్ వాడిన తర్వాత పవర్ రాగానే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మోటార్ అనేది ఆన్ అవుతుంది మేడం. అదొకటి. భూమి తేమను బట్టి మోటార్ ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఆన్ అవుతుంది మేడం, ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఆఫ్ అవుతుంది. అది నాకు మెసేజ్ రూపంలో వస్తుంది, పవర్ ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది, ఎప్పుడు ఆఫ్ అయింది, ఎంతసేపు రన్ అయింది అన్ని తెలుస్తాయి మేడం. అది పెట్టుకోవడం వల్ల నాకు చాలా టైం సేవ్ అయింది. నాకు కొంచెం గేదెలు కూడా ఉన్నాయి మేడం, ఒక 2. ఆ టైం సేవింగ్ లో నేను గేదెలకి గడ్డి కోసుకోవడానికని, వాటికి ఏమైనా చేయడానికి, అంటే కొంచెం పెంట ఎత్తడం అవి ఉంటాయి కదా మేడం, అవన్నీ చేసుకోవడానికి చాలా టైం అనేది బాగా సేవ్ అవుతుంది మేడం. అంటే 1 hour వెళ్ళడానికి 1 hour రావడానికి అయిపోతుంది మేడం. ఆ టైంలో నేను ఇక్కడ గేదెలకి గడ్డి కోసుకోవచ్చు, పాలు తీసుకోవచ్చు, బోల్డంతా పని సేవ్ అవుతుంది మేడం. నాకు ఆ జర్నీ అనేది, ఆ టైం అనేది నాకు 2 hours అనేది చాలా అసలు ఇంపార్టెంట్. అది కాక నాకు చాలా సేవ్ అవుతుంది మేడం దానివల్ల. నేను ఎప్పుడైనా 2 days ఒకసారి, 3 days ఒకసారి అలా చేను కాసి వెళ్ళి చూసుకోవడం, మోటార్ ఎప్పుడు ఆన్ అయింది, ఎప్పుడు ఆఫ్ అయింది, ఇవన్నీ నేను చెక్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాను.
చాలా సంతోషం. సో ఫర్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ, what we're trying to share here is Lokesh is using the solution of Navitri Innovation, okay, which is led by the founder, Mr. Shishir Chandra. Shishir, would you like to ask him a few more questions about this? And can you please summarize for the rest of the crowd what he has been sharing and how he has used this? Lokesh garu, ఇప్పుడు మీరు తెలుగులో మాట్లాడింది శిశిర్ గారు అందరికి కొంచెం హిందీలో, ఇంగ్లీష్ లో ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేసి చెప్తారన్నమాట. మీరు ఇప్పుడే ఆగండి, వెళ్ళిపోవద్దు, మ్యూట్ చేసుకొని ఓకేనా? Over to you, Shishir. Please go ahead. You could summarize it, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So what Lokesh was saying is that he has a farm, 2 acres, and it's pretty far from his village, which is quite often the case with a lot of farms. So he has to travel 1 hour to go to the farm and 1 more hour to come back. And quite often the power is not constantly available. So the power is on for 1 week during the daytime, for 1 week during the nighttime. So anytime when they want to water the field, they have to manually go at very odd hours to turn on the motor and make sure the fields have proper irrigation and enough water has been given to the crop. So with the technology from our company, Navarati Innovation, so what Lokesh is doing is he doesn't have to go to the farm. He goes there only once in 2-3 days, because the system that we have developed, it will automatically turn on the motor as per the requirement of the crop. So it has various sensors that will tell whether the crop needs to be irrigated or not, and if it needs to be irrigated, for how long should it be irrigated. And all the information is also conveyed back to the farmer in terms of SMS, so that he is aware of what is happening on the field. And this helps him to utilize his time more effectively, because he also has a couple of buffaloes. So he can spend time taking care of them and get more output from them.
Thanks, Shishir. I think another challenge that Lokesh has in the area, మీరు ఎక్కడ ఉంటారు లోకేష్ గారు?
వెస్ట్ గోదావరి మేడం, నల్లజర్ల
West
మండలం.
Godavari. Acha. So in the place that he stays, one, there is a problem of rains. Two, there is also a problem of power supply, which comes only in the night sometimes. And so he finds it very difficult to regulate water. And now all the crops that you heard him grow in the beginning, right? Turmeric, till, so many other vegetables and many others. So he's doing it with the help of Navi 3 Innovation Solution. And I think there can be no better validation, customer validation, except when, when there's a farmer who's actually talking about what he's using and how it's helping him. So ఇది మీకు ఎలా లాభదాయకంగా ఉండింది అంటే, ఎంత ప్రాఫిట్స్ లో ఏదైనా మార్పు ఉందా? ఒక సంవత్సరం నుంచి వాడుతున్నారు కదా?
అవును మేడం.
So he's using this solution for the last 1 year. And I believe from my previous conversation, he had told me that he was not comfortable investing so much in that solution, right? He wasn't quite sure if it will be helpful or not. But then when he initially did, he thinks it is very useful. And he is happy that he invested in it. So I think that's a very useful thing. Thank you so much, Lokesh garu. Meeri vallu vachi మీ మాట వినడానికి బాగుండింది. సో మీరు ఇంకా కొంచెం సేపు మ్యూట్ చేసుకొని వేరే వాళ్ళు కూడా ఏది ప్రెజెంట్ చేస్తారని చూసుకోవచ్చు, సరేనా?
ఓకే మేడం. ఓకే మేడం.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. మీరు మ్యూట్ చేసుకొని ఉండొచ్చు ఇప్పుడు. నౌ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు టేక్ యూ ఆల్ టు Dr. N.P. Singh. He is the Vice Chancellor of Banda University, and he's been very, very kind amidst moving from one city to another and kind of settling in. He's given us his time. So I would like him to share a little about what he's doing in the current role that he's in. And this is very new, of course, but then he's added a lot of value in his previous role. And they are all been associated with ICR institutes for such a long time. Over to Dr. N.P. Singh. Pleasure to have you here today, sir. So please go ahead and share what you've been doing. And he's made some major breakthroughs in pulses. So he will share with us what he's done and how he's gone about it and how he's supervised and led this whole project. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mukta, for inviting me to join this particular webinar. As you said, presently I am working as a Vice Chancellor in Banda Agriculture University and Technology that is located in Banda, which is Bundelkhand region, just like Telangana and Northern Karnataka, rainfed region, in Uttar Pradesh. Here, majority of the crops which are grown are pulses, oilseed and millets. And this position I joined only a month back. when you were talking to me, I told I'm already moving to the new place. Before that, I was working in an ICAR as a director of Indian Institute of Policy Research. I worked as a director for 8 years. Before that, I was a national coordinator, and almost 33 years, I was located over there. I basically work in I'm a specialist in genetics, plant breeding, biotechnology, and mainly work in my entire career, as a pulse worker. Pulses, they have a very important role to play in our Indian economy. We have been not doing in the past, well in pulses. We used to be deficient, almost 40% deficient than what we need to consume. Pulses, it is required for nutritional security. They're the major source of the protein and the minerals. Not only that, these pulses are the very important ingredient of our food.
Right.
You move to any part of the country, people have, choice of eating a particular pulse. And somehow or other, while we had a revolution, green revolution that came through, your rice and wheat, this was the one area which was totally left behind. And till 2014, we used to produce pulses around 12 to 14 million tons.
Okay.
And thereby we have a deficit of 6 to 8 million tons.
Okay.
And by that way, our import that was coming in pulses was somehow about 15 to 20,000 crore rupees.
Okay.
And then when the present government came into the central and they had a discussion at a different level.
Mhm.
And then we chalked out a program how country can get self-sufficiency in pulses.
Okay.
And we prepared 3 different the pillars on which we have to work. One was we wanted a reform in the policies. Earlier we used to import very cheap pulses
Mhm.
from the country like Canada, Australia, on zero duty.
Mhm.
Because of that, our own farmers, they suffered a lot. And our indigenous production, domestic production did not pick up.
Okay.
Another area, there was hardly any MSP. Even if there was a notional MSP, there was no procurement in the pulses. We wanted government to intervene, and at the same time, we wanted the market to be integrated, because if the markets are not integrated, at one place the chickpea or tur is beating at some price, another part it is going in the some other price. So what
Right.
used to be there, it was the middleman that they used to enjoy, or miller used to enjoy.
Mhm.
And then the government had a change in the policy. And another one of the region, though we had used to have a very good variety, very good technology, that was not clicking because it was not going to the farmers field. So the government rope up all the KBK, about 500 plus Krishi Vigyan Kendra. They are operational in different part of the country, and we wanted to bridge the yield gap.
Mhm.
Like there was more than 50-60% yield gap in each crops. So
Okay.
by having a model demonstration, about 1.5 lakhs or so demonstration we used to have in all pulses, through this 500 plus KVK, we
Okay.
could demonstrate the technology to the farmers field. Thereby, the farmers develop the confidence that in these crops also, by using the technology, we can have quantum jump in the productivity. At the same time, we used to have variety, but there was no quality seed available to the farmers. So we created 150 seed hubs, and these 150 seed hubs were created, in 150 major pulse growing, districts in the country. And we produced about, 1,000 quintal plus, a quality seed. And then that went, in demonstration, and then there was a dissemination, from farmer to farmer. That resulted, over a period of time, last 4-5 years, if you see, pulse production jumped from 14 million ton to now 26 million tons. No any crop, in recent years, you have seen such kind of jump. And this jump, that came in a crops which are rain-fed crops. They are not given, inputs like, the fertilizer, irrigation, what happened in green revolution, rice and wheat. So by this, this brought, the prices down. So now the pulses are, accessible to even the poor people, but a reasonable price. And per capita availability that went down to about 37 gram, 38 gram per day per capita per person, what you say.
Mhm.
Now that has gone to 45 gram. And we are targeting that in next 5 years or so,
Mhm.
pulse production has to come to around 32 million tons.
Okay.
By doing that, our ideal requirement, the pulses per person per day is about, say 50 to 55 gram.
Okay.
So we'll be able to take that swing, and
Mm.
we do believe by bringing this kind of revolution in pulses, our import that reached to about 25,000 crore. Now it
Oh.
has come down to below 5,000 crore.
Okay.
And this has saved, a lot of what you call a kind of foreign exchange,
Okay.
increase the availability, and now we have a easy accessibility, to do. So this is all I wanted to share. 10 minutes that you have. If you want to make any query, I will be happy to reply. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for sharing how you made those changes. Can I request you to share your coordinates on the chat so that if anyone wants to reach out to you, they will. And it would be a great help to take this conversation further.
Okay.
And we would love to have
Thank
you to continue.
If there
to
is any query, I can go. I told I am at a Krishi Vigyan Kendra today.
Okay.
It's a very remote place. Now I connected. And but any query, any chat that you put on, I will be happy to reply.
Sure,
Okay.
sir. Sure. So if they have any questions, they'll put it on the chat, sir. So you can respond to that. Please share your coordinates, probably your email ID and the institution that you're from. So if there is anything, they will write to you. That would be helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
So we also have the other speakers. Today we have Pankaj Agarwal, we have Narayan and Shishir. And if you do have a little time to listen into their technologies, please continue to be with us during the webinar.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you. Over to our next speaker for today, Narayan Lal Gujral. Narayan has been doing some very different work. And while I will let him speak more, I will just say that he is the founder of EF Polymer Private Limited. He'll tell you how he's been using a lot of waste to convert it into something very useful. Without further ado, over to you, Narayan. Please go ahead and share your journey so far and what you've been doing. And if you're facing any challenges, please put it out here. If there are people who can help you, they will. Please go ahead. Yes, I can see your slide. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mukta ma'am and Pankaj sir, for giving us the opportunity. And मेरी तरफ से VC sir को प्रणाम. So I am Narayan, founder and CEO of EF Polymer Private Limited. And this EF Polymer we started in India 2018, and currently we have office in India, and also we have a one part company in Japan also. So EF Polymer is working on majorly two problems. So the first is the bio waste, and another is the water problem. So if we see like currently in India and many developing countries generate every year around 200 million.
Narayan, I think your voice has just got stuck.
Yeah, now you can hear.
Better now, better. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so if we see like in India and many other developing countries, every year generating around like 200 million, 300 million ton of bio waste, but they are able to recycle only 30 to 40%. And rest of this bio waste we are used for landfilling, or we can burn this. So through this process, like this generates so much CO2 or so much harmful gases, which pollute our environment as well as nature. And the second thing about the water in India currently, like mostly 266 district and 8 state under drought affected. And every year the rainfall intensity, or if we see the drought problem is increasing. And due to this drought and low water availability, farmers face so much water problem. And whenever they grow their crop, and their crop will be dry and their yield is affected through the low water requirement. So as a EF polymer, what we are doing, we are trying to this two problem by from one problem to another problem. By using this bio waste, we created an organic water retention polymer. So we make this organic water retention polymer from the orange peel, banana peel, and the sugarcane bagasse, and also vegetable waste. So through our technology, we recycle this bio waste and convert into the organic water retention polymer. So this polymer have a capacity to absorb like 100 times of the water inside this. And when we add in the soil, this will be retain the moisture as well as a micronutrient in the soil for longer time. And this we call the Fasal Amrit. So what is the benefit for the farmer by using this polymer or by using this product? So the first thing, they can save like up to 40% of water requirement. So currently, suppose if they need to irrigate in every 10 days, because whatever water they are giving, this absorbed by the soil. And currently, if soil can absorb some water and if retain in 10 days, because soil water holding capacity is low. But if they are using this polymer, this increase the water holding capacity. So in this way, they can retain moisture for longer time and they need to irrigate in every 15 or 20 days. So in this way, they can increase their irrigation interval time. Second thing, because if they can increase their irrigation interval time, so they can reduce their labor requirement also. They not need to give every time irrigate very frequently. And the second thing about the leaching of the fertilizer. So currently farmer are use so much chemical fertilizer or so much pesticide, those kind of fertilizer. So when they give the irrigation, like mostly the flood irrigation, those kind of irrigation, so the fertilizer is a soluble in the water. And this fertilizer is washed out from the soil or through the leaching process is going down. And it's also wastage of the fertilizer as well as this polluting the river and environment. But if they are using this polymer, so this polymer like organic polymer can retain the moisture in the soil as well as retain the fertilizer in the soil for longer time. So in this way, they can reduce like leaching of fertilizer up to 20%. And if the moisture and if fertilizer retention in the soil is good, so they can increase their yield up to 30%, and also they can increase their income from this. And this product is mostly 100% biodegradable in the 6 months and organic. So this not pollute environment as well as the soil of the crop. You can see here the visual difference, like this side, no polymer used like Fasal Amrit, and with the polymer, so that visually the carrot farmer get the benefit, the effect on their crop. And similarly in UP, we are piloting this technology with more than 3,000 farmer in the Bundelkhand region, which is mostly drought affected area. And their farmer are using our product and they get benefit and they are able to grow their crop in the low water environment. So you can see some farmer use our polymer in the peanut and groundnut, and the visually difference you can see and find in how low moisture, or because in Bundelkhand very low ability of water. So in low ability of water, they are getting good result and they can save the irrigation as well as the water. So until now, we already sold more than 30,000 of kilogram of product and more than 2,000 acre of agriculture land we piloted as well as many farmer use. And we are connected in less than 1 year with more than 5,000 farmer in 15 districts within Uttar Pradesh and also in Rajasthan. And not only in India, also we are piloted this technology we received from Japan and also from the Thailand. Also Japan government also invite us to use their farmer in their farm. And currently we collaborate with the Japanese local government as well as their some institute, which research institute OIST and Orion Beer in Japan. And also in Thailand, also some big companies who have a water problem because they are growing the sugarcane or the cassava crop. So this is dry. So they are also using this product to save their farm, and in less irrigation, they can grow their crop. So in our team, we are mostly started this startup from our university, Mahana Pratap Agriculture University. So we are 5 co-founder, and I am basically have agriculture engineering background, and I have another 3-4 friend. So same agriculture background, and we started this in 2018 in India. And currently we generate around 16 employee in India. Also 2 employee in Japan. So currently our team is around 18 people we have in our team. For that, we received some award, which include like Best Innovation Award from the President of India, and also in Japan from Okinawa Furusoto Promotion Award. And we represent India in Netherlands in Carbon Tech Award, where we get a first prize in among 54 countries. And also recently from Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology, we get an award. And this year also we receive award from the Best Environment Award as well as the Best Entrepreneur Award. Thank you so much. So if you want to use this product, you can easily go through our website, or you can contact us, and we want to create a more local circular economy as well as a sustainable agriculture. Thank you so much.
Congratulations for the amazing work that you've been doing, Narayan. Very, very nice. I hope that you continue to do all of that. Could you please share your coordinates, your email ID, your website link, and all of that on the chat, so that if anyone wants to reach out to you, they will continue to be in touch. And please be ready for any questions that they've asked, so that you can answer them. There are a few questions you might want to check.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, we'll go over to our next speaker for today. Pankaj Agarwal, could I request you to share your screen and go ahead?
Sure.
So Pankaj is the founder and MD of Theta Agro, and their focus is just organic. But what I've seen from his profile is that he's also involved in a lot of other things, which if he would like to share here during his presentation, it would be a pleasure to know and to see if anybody else would want to coordinate or work along with him, they can reach out to him. Over to you, Pankaj. Please go ahead.
Sure. Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. Thanks for giving this platform to be able to interact with the different stakeholders that I always see as the essential part of the ecosystem when we talk about Kisan, or when we talk about a platform which is related to farming. So basically, I represent Treta Agro Private Limited. We do organic products under the brand name Just Organic. So basically, Just Organic is the platform to provide the forward linkage. The goal of this particular organization is providing farm-to-table organic food through sustainable farming. And I think that's exactly what I would want to talk about today, is the sustainable farming through organic. We are based out of Uttarakhand, and we are trying to cover the complete supply chain all the way from the farm to the table. If I were to talk about the problems, so in the whole food chain, there are stakeholders. The food chain starts from the farm, goes to the processor, and ends up with the consumer. Now, the start of the food chain is basically the farm. And when we talk about the organic products, farm is the base. We have seen that India being one of having the highest number of organic producers, having a lot of organic producers from the land perspective, but still the certified producers are still less for a country like India. So there are problems. So if we just talk about the farm level, the problems related to organic farming are, number one, that it's a lengthy and complex certification process. Because organic, if we talk about the market is for the certified organic produce. So in general, the farmers have been into the traditional farming processes. If we talk about the hilly area, we talk about the tribal area. So generally, the farmers have always been doing the traditional farming, organic farming, but they have never been into the certification regime. And that seems to be the issue for them, to be missing the boat going into the main market or mainstream. So lengthy, complex certification process, gap in understanding the process, because many a times these processes are third-party driven, being a set of process rather than a product certification, and hence there is a gap. There is a gap in the dissemination of the information also. The third very important point is the lack of incentive to move to organic, right? So if a farmer or a group of farmers wants to convert into organic, there is a 3 years wait period So you have to necessarily go for this 3 years of conversion from a chemical based farming to a organic farming, or irrespective of the fact whether you have been into a chemical based farming or not, this is still a 3 years process. And hence there is a lack of incentive. So unless there is an organization or a company that comes in and starts supporting you, the farmers themselves do not have a motivation to get into a certified farming, organic farming practice. And if you have been, a farmer has been into the non-organic or a chemical based farming, there is a drop in the yield also in the initial years of the conversion. And during that drop in the yield, no one is ready to compensate. Finally, we talk about the processing facility and the location, that the location is somewhere else and the processing facility is somewhere else. So how do we take care of this scenario? Market linkage seems to be continued problem, and that's in fact the largest problem. Even for the organizations who are completely into the organic farming, market linkage is an issue. We have been working primarily in Uttarakhand for last 8 years in the organic area, interviewed farmers, in last 8 years, and these understanding is basically a result of it. In Uttarakhand, if you go to a little bit higher altitude, most of these farmers have only been into the organic farming. They have never touched any chemicals whatsoever throughout their life or their farming life. But still, despite being organic, they were not able to get a premium of their crop because this was not certified. Now, basically, if I were to summarize the other stakeholders, we talked about the producer, which is the farmer. We come to the processor. Now, the problem is that the source is somewhere else and the processing facility is somewhere else. Second, the authenticity of the organic produce also becomes a question mark. The issues related to storing, processing, and packaging, these are the bigger issues. So in organic, everyone knows that we cannot use any chemical, right? So how do you store these products? Becomes a big challenge for the processor. Finally, the consumers. Now, consumers have a lack of trust on the authenticity of the organic produce. So consumers say that if I'm going to pay double the price of the normal produce, what is the guarantee that it is organic? Despite having the certification, the trust is still missing, and hence traceability becomes an important part. Now, how Just Organic is solving these problems is basically taking all the 3 stakeholders and combining the effort by having an integrated supply chain solution. So number one, on the farmer side, we are working with 4,000 marginal farmers in the area in the state of Uttarakhand. Most of these farmers were into organic farming, but they were not organized. So what we did was that we handholded these farmers. We took them into the certification process. We took care of the certification cost that these farmers had to incur, helped them out, trained them with the documentation, provided them assistance, and also identified the lead farmers in different farmer group, so that this is also an environment of getting into a micro entrepreneurship kind of thing, which also ultimately helped us in making sure that there is a collection, because again, Uttarakhand is a very hilly terrain. A farmer may be producing 50-100 kilo of produce, and becomes very difficult for a processor to start collecting it. So that is where the second part of the process comes in, where we helped out these farmers to have the local collection centers, bring their produce to that local collection center, which is being put together during only the harvesting season. We pay for the rent, the head farmer collects it, quality checking at that point in time itself, and then it comes to a processing facility. So we have a processing facility in Rudrapur, which is in association with the government of Uttarakhand. And the idea was to basically get a processing facility which is closer to the source. So as I said, that the connectivity, which was a problem, that there is a production somewhere else and the processing somewhere else. So that was sorted out for the hill grains. A lot of millets getting produced in Uttarakhand, some spices, and also other grains. So there is a state-of-art processing facility that we are running in association with the government of Uttarakhand, and the farmers can, if there is a large farmer, they can actually bring their produce to their processing facility and get it processed as a predefined rate, or otherwise we buy it from those farmers and process it and provide the forward linkage. Finally, providing the market linkage from a consumer standpoint, we have different distribution channels. So having a distribution channel through the normal retail stores. So we are covering more than 1,500 retail stores at this point in time throughout India, main concentration being North and East India. But these retail stores, which is the general trade, the modern trade like Spencer, More, etc., and then also the online channel. Not only that, we are also working with a few big institutions like Nestle to make sure that during the conversion year, where the farmers are actually just getting converted into the organic certification process, but the produce is still organic, we are able to find the takers, and hence even the yield drop actually results into a premium for these farmers. So primarily from the farmer's perspective, we are able to provide the certification, the storage facility, and the market linkage. We have been working with this Uttarakhand Agriculture Produce Marketing Board, basically Uttarakhand Mandi, who has put together this infrastructure and provide this infrastructure to the farmers if they want to bring their produce on their own, or we buy it and then provide the market linkage. So far, the organization is self-funded, but definitely it will be, we would be needing growth capital, because we want to now replicate this model not only in Uttarakhand, but to many other areas where we have the marginalized farmers, and extend our product portfolio. Right now, we are dependent on some other aggregators because we want to provide the complete kitchen solution to a consumer, because the idea is basically farm to table, and hence we would like to have a lot more farmers from different geographies. So we are looking for some growth capital. Another area from a consumption perspective could be that there are so many government organizations, government canteens who procure these things. We can always connect the local farmers who are into the organic production to these canteens, so that there is a direct farmer advantage and there is a increased visibility for the organic farming. As I said, that one important part of our whole journey is basically the training and making sure that the documentation is maintained. There is a helpline that we have put together for a farmer who faces issues during the organic conversion. We will be happy to have the ideas, the inputs, that if there is a third-party organization in that particular area which is active from an operationalization perspective, we can connect with them, and so that this operationalization at the field level is taken care by this organization. Just to summarize what we have done, we established in 2013, increasing farmer income has been our goal, providing the advantage to the farmer as well as to the consumer through a very large distribution network. I would also like to mention that we are exporting to multiple countries, USA, Singapore, UAE, and Europe, many a times in bulk. And we are also trying to make sure that these millets, which seem to be the socio-economical preferred grains even for Indian farmers, we are focusing on these grains and trying to focus the export of these grains to Europe. We are also working a lot on the institutional supplies, where these institutions are actually also spending their efforts into the sustainable farming, organic farming, and are ready to support us. So we would like to continue this journey and expand, in fact, our reach with different farmers to supply to large corporates. For any questions, any queries, these are my coordinates. We'll be happy to have the calls, emails, and seek partnerships in the area where we can work with a lot more farmers than we are working right now. In fact, just to mention, we are also now a CBBO, working under NAFED to have many more farmer producer organizations. And the idea is to basically produce as many micro entrepreneurs in all those areas who are doing or who are willing to get into the organic farming, do the little bit processing at their end, and supply us the produce, because we have the market linkages and we would like to exploit those marketing linkages to the benefit of the consumer as well as the farmers.
That's wonderful, Pankaj. What I really like is, I think your solution is really complete. You're talking about right from, post farm management to post harvest, and then by the time market linkages as well. So you're kind of covering up three really crucial aspects, especially as far as organic produce is concerned. So fantastic work. And I think if any of our startups are looking at any kind of support, I would want them to reach out to you. Thank you so much for presenting today, and please share your coordinates on the chat. And I would request some of the other speakers who were previously talking to answer any of the queries that have come up in the chat. Please go ahead and be comfortable to respond to the queries that are there. This is how Kisan Mitra takes off offline as well, right? Thank you so much, Pankaj. We'll now give space to the next speaker. Please share your coordinates on the chat and your web link web page as well, so that people can reach out to you. You're doing some really very good work. Now we have Mr. Shishir Chandra Jona. He is the CEO of Navi3 Innovation, and he's been doing some amazing work. You had the customer validation by the Kisan who spoke in the beginning, Lokesh, and he's been using Shishir's solution. So without further ado, I'll request Shishir to share his journey and the work done so far. Over to you, Shishir. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Thanks for the time and thanks for the opportunity to present our solution. We believe we have a solution that can benefit the small and medium scale farmer, and that can change the agri ecosystem to a really phenomenal extent. So let me just start off. Our company is Navi3 Innovation. So we are into automation, so advanced automation solutions for agriculture. So with the affordability in mind. So what is the typical problem that we foresee in the agriculture sector is that that the agriculture sector in our country has little or no technology intervention. Our yield and income is way below par if you compare with other countries. So raising input costs such as fertilizer, weedicide, and other costs, and also the fluctuating global warming results, like like rainfall and everything, is putting a lot more stress on this sector. And we are using energy and water like as if there is no limit to it, and so they are all being used in a very primitive fashion. So the farming itself is completely an unviable business opportunity for the small and medium scale farmer. So what is the solution? So our solution is a smart farming system. It's a completely autonomous and intelligent automated system. The system will automatically deliver and irrigate the field exactly when required, and also for how long it's required. It will increase in yield. It also helps in lowering your agri input costs like labor, electricity, fertilizer, pesticides, and so on. It will also help in big sustainable use of natural resources like groundwater, electricity as well. So what is the technology behind the solution? The technology behind the solution is it's a completely automatic system. It's completely automatic. It's safe and easy to use and set up, and it's very affordable. Right. So what you can see here on the left is the system, and it gets data from various sensors such as rainfall sensor, temperature, power, And based on the field conditions, it will irrigate the field and automatically also stop the motor. So what is the differentiator? I mean, obviously there are other companies who have tried or who have attempted, and maybe there are some who are existing. So the differentiator is that it's targeted at medium and small scale farmer. If you look at any existing advanced technology related to agriculture, it's all looking at commercial scale farming, where a typical system will cost you 20 lakhs or more. And the other technologies, whatever are affordable, they are very primitive. So our solution will be very intuitive to use and set up, even with the local village electrician. It's ultra affordable, so it will be less than 10,000 rupees. It will be suitable for any crop, geolocation, and any agricultural motor or pump system. So what is the current status? So the system is ready and we are at a scale-up stage. We have ongoing partnership with Startup India and other government institutes for market awareness and reach. We are trying to reach out to various FPOs for promotion and making the product awareness to all the farmers. We have also, in addition to this, advanced systems that are obviously looking at larger scale farms that are already deployed in various centers. Other variants of the system are also exported. The model we are presenting today, the Echo model, like I said, we are pricing it below 10,000. So somewhere in the price bracket of 6,000 to 8,000 rupees per system. The system is very intuitive to use. So even for a typical farmer, you don't really need any technological know-how. They will have YouTube videos and WhatsApp live chats in case there is any assistance required while setting up the system. All the instructions will fit in a simple single A4 sheet. And we are trying to partner with various large-scale manufacturing to enable cost reductions. So we are completely bootstrapped and self-funded till now. After the COVID, obviously, things are picking up. So we see a rosy future going forward. But we are also looking at partnerships with government and other non-governmental organizations for promoting the product and making it reach to the end farmer. And any possible VCs or private entities that are interested in this sector. We have MOUs with the Department of Horticulture, Telangana. We have MOU with PJT SAU, and we are their partner for ESAR project for fuzzy logic based AIoT system. And we also have MOU proposed with Assam University. So we have we also have a couple of customers outside of the country. So one in Canada and one in Korea as well. We have locally the PJT SAU Agriculture University in Hyderabad. So they have more than 2,000 acres of land, and we are one of their key partners for all the technology and IoT based solution providers. We also have MOU with the Horticultural Department, Telangana State. This is our team. So I am Sisir, I am the founder and CEO. Along with me, my colleague and friend Ashim. And we have a couple of advisors on board. We have ongoing partnerships and with a couple of IITs and also other institutes. And my colleague, Mrs. Suchitra Shekhar, is in charge of all the legal and strategy as well. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Shishir, for sharing what Navi 3 has been doing so far. We seem to have a common thread of the same partner, PJT SAU, For all of you all who are on the webinar today, that's Professor Jayashankar, Telangana State Agricultural University. The institute focuses on agri as a space, obviously, but they also have an upcoming incubation center, which is really doing very well. And we've worked with the team on different occasions, and we currently associate with them. And NSRCEL is actually working on a case study that we're developing together in the agri space. But when it's final, of course, you'll all get to know a little more about it. But that's just brewing at the moment. So that's a very interesting thing. Coming back to what Shishir has been doing, he's been ensuring that the irrigation challenges that are there are being taken care of in a different way. And thanks for adding that much required value as we continue to see the water sources being depleted over a period of time, and the quality water not really being available. So thanks for sharing, and great to have you and host you all here. So thanks to all the speakers. With this, we come to the end of the session today. And thanks to all the speakers. You might want to put your videos on just for a brief second. And we've had Narayan, we've had Pankaj, we've had Shishir, all from different firms. We've had the Vice Chancellor of Banda University join us. And I wish he was here a little more, but I think he had some other engagement and he's had to leave. But pleasure hosting all of you. And if you're looking for any kind of a support or reaching out to anybody else who you think can be of any use, not just the participants today, but also we're talking about either on the Kisan Mitra platform or at NSRCEL. Do keep a tag on what we're doing. You can check out our social media pages and you can see what kind of value add we're continuing to do. Today, in a couple of days, we're having a huge summit for women entrepreneurs, especially, and in the space of technology. So if you know anyone who would be interested, and if you want to see what they're doing, perhaps you can all just join in and be hosting it on 10th and 11th. That's what we're doing at NSRCEL. And if you have any hassles on the Kisan Mitra platform and want to use it a little more in an active way, please reach out to us. Shishir, please share your details on the team. You've shared both the email IDs and the website. If you would want to share perhaps your phone number, you could do that as well. So if there are any queries, please go ahead and put it out there. And I want to thank two of the KVK teams who have come in to join us here. We have Krishi Vikas Kendra from Porbandar, Gujarat, who is with us today. And we've also had Dr. Kumari Velu. He has come in from KVK Coimbatore. What I wanted to tell you is when we are trying to ensure that we act as a linkage between the startups who have solutions for the farmers and the farmers who are a part of the KVKs, this is exactly how we do it. This is just one simple example of how they come in to listen up and to see what are the technologies that are being presented today and if they could be of any use to their KVKs, right? So this is just a small way, but there's a lot of work that happens on the ground. So if you want to reach out to anybody, please let us know. We'll try and enable it for you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Pleasure hosting you all. Do reach out to us at NSRCEL if you're looking at any help. Have a great weekend and thanks everyone.
Thank you so much for your opportunity and have a great weekend too.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to all the participants for being here and listening up. Please continue to join us for the fortnightly webinars. The next one is scheduled around the first week of Jan. And with that, we have another one scheduled at the end of December around the third week. So you will have some more technology presentations from the Kisan Mitra platform. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.